Hi guys, Tarryn here from Generation Health. Hope you had a fantastic week. Let's talk about some of the results that you would have been experiencing over the last week or so. When you took your measurements, let's talk about your scale weight. Alright, what do we do about the scales? So you should be, if you are weighing yourself at the same consistent time using the same consistent scales. When you do that, what we're looking for is that you dropped fluid, alright? So anything between 2 and 4 kilos will show that you have lost fat weight, but that you have also lost fluid weight. You cannot possibly lose more than 0.9 of a kilo in 1 week. 0.9 is the maximum amount of fat that you can lose. Anything above that is fluid weight, okay? So what we're looking at in the first 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how responsive your body has been, whether it just quickly let go of fluid, in which case you would have been looking at that 2 to 4 kilo range. And if your body has been a little bit stubborn in letting go of fluid, it will do so, but it may just have taken a little bit longer in that 1 to 2 weeks. From there on, we're looking at a fat loss of anywhere between 0.5 to 0.9 kilos. Anything less than that, and what it's showing is that your cortisol levels may still be a little bit high. Because you are doing the reset and because it's so controlled, you'll find that your body will switch quite quickly, but there's always a small percentage of people that might be a little bit more resistant. So what we then look at is your waist measurement. So with the waist measurement, some of you might have found that your weight came down quite significantly, so your body was letting go of fluid. Congratulations, that is awesome. However, you might not have been so blessed on the waist size department. So we're looking at, if you're seeing about a 1 centimetre drop, a 1.5 centimetre drop, that's great, but we're really celebrating when you hit that 3 centimetre loss in 1 week. When you hit the 3 centimetre loss in 1 week, what we're really seeing is that your sensitivity to your insulin has improved significantly, and that your cortisol levels are low enough. When cortisol levels are low enough, then your body, it's like it just switches over, and then weight loss becomes much less resistant and a lot easier. It will just start to come away naturally. So what I wanted to address today was exercise. Now with exercise, in the first week, if you were a bit headachy, didn't have a lot of energy for those first 2 to 3 days, it can be quite stressful to start exercising. So with the reset program, we don't recommend that you do anything other than walking or even just actually rest for that first week. However, coming into the second week, and for some of you going into the third very soon, you'll need to start exercising. So there are a lot of different reasons that people may have or may associate to how exercise benefits fat loss. And most of it will be around decreasing the amount of food that goes in, and then by doing more, that you are that deficit will result in fat loss. And that is just not true. It all depends on the health of your glands, whether exercise causes you to increase in stress hormones, or whether it is causing more reasons for your body to recover. Okay, so on the board you can see I've got 6 fat burning hormones here, and I've got 3 fat storage hormones here. So the way that you are eating now is to stimulate those 6 fat burning hormones and to suppress the 3 fat storage ones. So exercise's main role is that it stimulates those 6. So I call them 6 fat burning hormones. However, I'd also call them the 6 recovery hormones. So when these 6 hormones are high, it means that your body is in the perfect state of recovery. So when you exercise, the whole intention is to apply a little bit of stress to the body, just the perfect amount of stress, so that when you sleep, okay, you have to actually be sleeping, your body can produce more of these 6 fat burning hormones, which almost all of them are stimulated by exercise. Okay, so depending on if you are following the reset program perfectly, then you will have those 6 hormones be high. and you will be suppressing the 3 fat storage hormones. But if you exercise, then it encourages the body to produce more of those fat burning hormones because you are requiring your body to be in a higher state of recovery. Okay? Now your body can choose to either use one of 2 fuels. Do you remember what they are? One of them was fat, the other one is sugar. So if you are eating in this way, then when you sleep and your body requires that recovery, then it will use fat as its source of fuel to recover. And if because you have exercised you need more recovery, then your body then requires more fuel, i.e. more fat, therefore you will burn more fat. Okay, so the key thing with exercise is that it must be progressive. Okay, you must look at wherever you are at and slightly increasing it every week. So if you went from doing nothing, I would not encourage you to go and start running, to go and start lifting really heavy weights. I would encourage you to start walking. The reason why this is because if you apply too much stress too quickly, then your body starts producing a stress hormone. Now the stress hormone is cortisol. And when I talk to you about the waist measurement, we're talking about reducing cortisol levels as much as possible, improving insulin sensitivity as much as possible to reduce these 2 so that they can continue to be suppressed. If you exercise too much too soon, you will actually increase cortisol and you will not burn fat. How you'll know that this is happening is that you won't be sleeping too well. Sleeping and waist measurement is the perfect indicator of the levels of cortisol that are in the body, the levels of stress hormone. So this would be an unideal scenario. You decide that you would like to go for a run and you haven't done any exercise at all, and so you go for your life and you feel really tired. Then when you go to sleep, you actually don't fall asleep too easily. And when you do finally fall asleep, you're waking up at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, or you're waking up to pee. These are signs that cortisol levels are too high and you're not sleeping deeply enough, and the depth of your sleep is where recovery happens. So what you've then done is then you've exercised to try and stimulate these 6 fat-burning hormones, but you've actually gone too far too quickly, and because you are not able to sleep and recover, what you've actually done is you've produced too much cortisol. Okay? So exercise must be progressive. Start from wherever you are at and slightly increase that. Okay, so for those of you who are already at a reasonable level of fitness, let's look at how you would need to be eating. Now I'm going to draw up here a scale of intensity. And we're just going to do a scale from 6 to 10. So we're going to look at 10 being your highest level of intensity, 10 being maximum intensity. Okay, so like a sprint. So the type of intensity where you are giving it everything that you have, and then you need to stop because you can't breathe and you need to recover. That intensity we'll call a 10. Then we'll go with a 9, and a 9 would be a run. Okay, so if you are running at a high level of exertion, your heart rate is quite high, then we're going to call that a 9 level of intensity. Then we're going to look at an 8, which would be a jog, a 7, which would be an uphill walk, and a 6, which would be a walk at speed. Okay, anything less than a 6 is fine. It just depends on where you are at and where you are starting. But how I want you to measure from a 6 up is as if you're at a walk at speed, then you would be struggling to maintain a conversation with your friend or whoever you are walking with. Okay, an uphill walk would be where you can sustain this pace, but it is causing you to breathe quite heavily, but you can sustain it. And a jog would be just slightly more than that, but at also a pace that you can sustain. And a run would be the same, but your level of fitness would be greater and your heart rate you can maintain much higher for that period of time. okay? So I want you to gauge on where you are at. If you are doing Zumba or a Pilates class or yoga or a pump class or any kind of a class, that's fine. I just want you to look at where your heart rate is and gauge it to the level of intensity on the scale. If you are starting at a walk, then you will find that you'll find that you may get hungry, you may not, okay? What I would recommend is that if you are getting more hungry, then I'd like you to post on the Facebook page so that I can address that with you individually. If you are getting to the level of that uphill walk, jog, run where your heart rate is becoming progressively more at a pace that you can sustain, or you're doing anything with a high intensity like an interval type training, where your heart rate's getting really high and then you have to rest, and then really high and then you have to rest, you will get hungry. Now, I don't want you to increase anything to your shakes or to your meals. I just want you to add an extra snack. So your day currently might look like a shake for breakfast, a bar for a snack, a shake for lunch, and then a piece of fruit for afternoon tea, and then your shake for your second afternoon tea, and then your shake and vegetables at tea time. But if you are getting more hungry, then you need to add a snack. So if you've trained in the morning, then that might look like a shake and then a shake and then a snack bar, and then you might need another snack before lunch. If you don't get hungry, notice that you're hungrier till the second part of the afternoon, then you'll just increase a snack there or increase a snack at the other end of the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to post some snack options up there for you. The key thing is that you do not eat more in one go, that you increase your meal frequency. Okay, this is super important. That way you do not stretch your stomach in any way, which will encourage your body to continue to producing the hormones necessary to burn fat. Okay, so the key points that we cover today are that you must start exercising. It must be progressive. So from wherever you are at, and then increasing that weekly, either by the amount of times that you go, or that you're increasing by intensity. Eventually, you will do both. And that if you are noticing that you are getting hungry, to increase a snack. If you are unsure, then just post on the Facebook page and look for a link on the Facebook page from Nick and myself, and we will put up a list of snack options. All right, have a fantastic week, guys, and I'll see you next week.